Good afternoon, everyone. Wow, there's a lot of you. There really is. So I'm Jonah Ssenyange, and I am psychic. And I know for a fact I'm psychic, because some of you must be wondering, who the heck is this guy? And let's be honest, you weren't thinking, heck, but it's a professional event, so let's keep it G-rated, please. My time with you on stage today will be very brief. A wise person once told me, when speaking to a group of people, be three things. Be brief, be good, and be gone. Now, I can't promise you that I'll be good, but another wise person once told me, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I want you to know that I sincerely appreciate the opportunity to be here today. The invitation from the chamber to speak here means a lot to me. The opportunity to come and to be able to talk to you as a group is something that I will forever cherish. So you must be wondering, why is today special to me? Well, I'm an immigrant. Even though I consider myself a global citizen, I've been in Canada for about 9 years. This is my second year here in Nova Scotia. It's truly an honor to be sharing space with mentors and people that inspire me like Anne Divine. She's paved the way for someone like me to aim for the stars and realize my fullest potential. I remember when I had just moved to Halifax, I reached out to her, and she gave me some of the best advice I've ever received. And even this morning, her motherly instincts just kicked in. She showed up by still encouraging me, still giving me those words of encouragement. Even a few minutes before I walked here, she was like, Jonah, you can do this. So you must be wondering, what then brought you to Nova Scotia? My work with a wonderful organization called Placemaking 4G is what brought me to this beautiful province. And yes, we were recently awarded Small Business of the Year at this year's Chamber Awards. Woohoo! As you will see beside me, this group of lovely people is who I get to work with every single day. And we care a lot about the exact reason everyone is in this room today. What started out as a values-based recruitment company 5 years ago has now grown into an organization that works every day to help other organizations build more inclusive and diverse teams, and building those workplaces where people feel a great sense of belonging. So what have we learned in those 5 short years, I must add? We've learned that there's no point in recruiting people to organizations where they don't feel like they belong. When someone is met daily with comments, aggressive questions, or downright racist or discriminatory acts, they don't feel welcome. And they certainly do not feel safe. So let's do something quite quickly. I want you to raise your hand if you've ever been in a situation and you didn't feel like you belong. I have. I want you to put up your hand if you've ever been in a situation where you felt alienated, unwanted, or even worse, made to feel less than. Keep your hand up. Looks like almost everyone in the room. Keep your hand up if you liked that feeling. See, looks like no one likes that feeling. And I think we can all agree that it's not a good feeling. I've been told we're here today because the Halifax business community is eager to either begin or to continue its journey to becoming more diverse, equitable, accessible, and inclusive. We don't want to be part of organizations or systems that make people feel like they don't belong. Well, honestly, I'm really thrilled to hear that. Being here today, showing up, tells me that you are curious, that you care enough to give your time to learning new ways of doing things and potentially making some changes in your business. I want to say thank you. Thank you for making that commitment. So, just checking if the slide moves. So let's cut to the core of what prevents meaningful diversity, equity, and belonging in the first place. As a business owner or an organization leader, do you ever sit down and think your organization has some work to do in this area? If you're here today, I'm guessing maybe you're open to the idea that maybe, just maybe, you need to make some changes. So let's focus on that. Why are you here? Are you here because you've been told to be here? Are you here because you've heard that diversity is important and that a more diverse workplace allows to capture new innovations and solutions? Are you here because maybe, just maybe, you want to gain more customers and make more money by appealing to a more diverse clientele? Or are you here because you want to take advantage of the business case for diversity and inclusion? The slide beside me shows the business case for diversity and inclusion. But if that is part of the reason you're here today, I'm going to need to challenge you. If you're here because you've been told diversity, equity, and inclusion makes good business sense or is good for your reputation, I need you to dig a little deeper today. You see, there was once a business case for feeding enslaved people twice a day. You fed them more, they worked harder, you got more out of the resources on your plantation. It made good business sense. If the notion of the business case makes you feel uncomfortable, good. It makes me feel uncomfortable too. When you value humans and human life and dignity, you do not need a business case. You see, when we talk about diversity, equity, accessibility, and inclusion, we aren't talking about the business case. We are talking about what we value. We are talking about what kind of society we want to live in. And we want that society to treat its citizens in a way that they should be. When we talk about diversity, equity, accessibility, and inclusion within the context of your organization, we are talking about the employees, the customers, the suppliers you work with. We are talking about your neighbors, the people you share space and community with. Diversity, equity, accessibility, and inclusion start with a personal journey, one that requires each and every one of us to reflect on our worldview and consider our personal circumstances and privileges. We then move from those personal reflections to then considering the rules, our systems and institutions, who made them, and who benefits from them, and even more importantly, who do they not include, and who do they further marginalize. I want you to take a look at this picture beside me. What comes to mind? It's a set of stairs. These are stairs here in Halifax. And I won't get into the details, but there was backlash around this, and you'll know why. The stairs do seem pretty traditional, right? Maybe you used the staircase when you were coming into the hall today, or you saw something like this wherever you were today, this morning, or yesterday, or even this month. But think of these stairs in the photo. Who do you think created these stairs? Who designed and built them? Now I want you to ask yourself, who wasn't included? Who isn't benefiting from these stairs, and who isn't able to use them? Now take a look at the second photo. Another set of stairs. This time, this includes a ramp system, a railing. Now this quite seems like the universal design. Who do you think created these? Who benefits? Is there anyone who was left out of the process? 100 years from now, I really hope, your organization or business is still in business. Though, I also want you to think about what kind of story people are going to tell about your organization. And about you. What are the history books going to read? Are they going to be talking about your business case? Will they talk about the stairs you designed that only benefit certain people? Or will you be part of that community that designed this photo, the stairs that worked for everyone? Now, diversity, equity, accessibility, and inclusion is not a goal to achieve. It's a way of being. It may take a while to start to notice those DEI puzzle pieces as you adjust your way of observing and also thinking about your organization's systems, structures, and processes. But as you do, you'll also see the opportunities to adjust those systems to make meaningful changes. Changes that reflect the kind of society you want to live in. I'll leave you with the words of the late Dr. Maya Angelou, and I quote, "I think a hero is any person really intent on making this a better place for all people." Today, as you explore the various topics and different ways you can make your organizations more accessible, more inclusive, and more equitable, I want you to have your why front and center. Ask yourself, who is benefiting from your efforts? Who should be here? And have you heard from your employees? If you really want to have an impact on the company culture, you have to understand the mindset. It helps. The success and failure of many diversity, equity, accessibility, and inclusion efforts lie in two arenas: company culture and leadership. If you are ready for a culture shift that is centered around inclusion, find your why, engage with curiosity, and insist on accountability. I want to stress this. Don't make your why about the business case.